Do, 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 do. Hey! What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. We're jumping back into Final Fantasy XIV. On trail. Actually, I talked to my buddies Jenny and Nightly Lunatic. Because the thing is, I've been gone from the game for so long that I wasn't sure if like a new expansion had come around and I missed it. Well, missed the start of it at the very least. But no, apparently they haven't even dropped the new thing yet. So good news. We have time to to catch up with shite. Hello, Nathan. How's it going on stream? What will you do? Well, today's mostly going to be about catching back up with FF14. Haven't played in a hot minute, so definitely going to be running some roulettes. Going to be getting back into the seat of things. Been a hot minute. I mean, I have well over 1,000 hours in this game, so hopefully it'll be like riding a bike. I'll get right back on board, and it'll feel fresh and new. How are you doing today, Nathan? I hope you're doing well. No, you might have left the chat. If I recall correctly where I last was, it was Limsa Liminza, my home. Also, was gonna stream in a bit. What do you say was? Go ahead and stream, man. Don't let me contradict you at all. Would have done yesterday when you finished, but OBS said it didn't want to assign IDs to my streams. That's weird. Otherwise, this when I scheduled 6 in a row via YouTube Studio. Oh wow. Good thing I didn't get all those notifications. I would have been confused. Yeah, but don't do the was. Do the stream. I'm sure plenty of our like there won't be a lot of people in our overlap who will be hanging out here versus with you. They're gonna enjoy the dino time more. Methinks. I know Urus doesn't even watch my streams anymore, so he's definitely gonna be hanging out with you at the very least. Yeah, decline the bounty. I don't think I need it. Plus, mostly it's just flagging to mentors to harass you. Traitor? What? What do you mean, traitor? Oh, traitor Urus? Nah. Nah, for sure, Urus, pretty sure Urus has just kind of moved on from my community, which is fine. I get it. Yeah. I do miss the old chap, but yeah. And I don't think I've seen him. I think I saw him comment on a video like a month ago or 2 months ago. But outside of that, I think he's pretty much just been absentee, which is fine. Like, it's fine. Like he watches. I encourage everybody to watch what they want. Don't feel any pressure or anything to watch my stuff. And trust me, I get it. I don't have a consistent schedule, so I'm sure it's hard for anybody to force themselves to keep coming back. You know, when you have such an inconsistent creator to deal with. So, plus, you're more entertaining than I am most of the time, Nessan. I believe in you. So, Urus goes hangs out with his future brother-in-law, you know? Yeah, Urus, let's see. There's a chunk of people who've just kind of, like, vanished from the community for a while. But again, I get it. Looking for pastures that are not only greener, but actually grow grass frequently rather than once in a blue moon. Alright, so, let's see, is there any abilities on my bar that have been nixed? Doesn't look like it. Looks like everything is still active. That's good. Shadow Strike, that's something. Rush to target's enemy location, check. Shadow Wall. Just take 10% duration, okay. Yeah, it looks like all my bars at least gonna be familiar for Dark Knight. Hold on, let me check my other most frequently used class, Reaper. Any abilities discontinued for Reaper? Let's see. Whirl of Death is still there. Arcane Crest. Arcane Circle. Check. It looks like everything's there also for Reaper. Huh. So they didn't make any adjustments in the bar there. That's good. Nice. Happy, happy days. Alright, so we're going to definitely queue up for some roulette stuff. And a hot minute since I've had to, so... Did you find out? Okay, high-level dungeons. Keep misclicking. Leveling, trials, main scenario, alliance raids, normal raids, frontline. I'm not gonna do the PvP stuff today. I'll save for other stuff. Too kind, too kind. Hopefully our community makes a comeback when the world further descends to a shit heap and people return to the old pastures. Maybe. I mean, you are the new pasture though, my friend. I'm the old pasture. That's for sure. Got an itchy arm. Alright, actually, let me turn up the game volume because I think I'd have it way low. Yeah, I do. It's up you to 27. Yeah, that'll be it's a little bit of a healthy amount. There we go. Right then. First roulette. Let's do... Leveling adjustment all the way down to 16. Yeah. But there's increased guild and experience. Storm Seals, of course. Why not? Instantaneous. Okay, then. Alright, let's hope I'm not too rusty at this that I don't know what I'm doing. That would suck. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous I have forgotten how to play properly. That would be awkward. Trying to remember my rotation. Oh, crap. This one has a gimmick to it. Shit. Alright, everybody good to go? Alright. Oh, crap. I feel so awkward just jumping right back in. Maybe I should have asked or waited for Jenny and Lightning to jump in, because I don't know, I feel awkward. I feel like I'm stiff. I also feel like I'm not necessarily remembering my rotation correctly. Alright, well, I think we can double pull. Ah. I'm trying to remember my keybinds as well. Second boss. Cannot remember if this one has a gimmick. Got to ask you, say, how did the spoopy walk go with you, gal? It went pretty good. She was holding onto my arm the whole time. And the thing is, I saw most of the Gilly guide wasn't there this year. Well, if he was in a different costume. But it was pretty good. All right, so. Trying to remember the gimmicks for this boss. I don't think we need to worry about it. He's already pretty low on health, but still. Oh, he's invulnerable. Well, seems to be going well. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have a gimmick. Oh. There you go. Or, yeah. Hey, Lady Rune Song, how you doing? Nice. I'm awkwardly trying to reacclimate. Oh, I want something. Trying to awkwardly reacclimate to FF14 after not playing for, I think, almost 2 years. Has it been that long? I don't know. Maybe that might have been a bigger number than the truth. Yeah, why not? We'll double pull. This group can handle it. Come on, guys. Alright. What the fuck are they doing? Guys. Doesn't help that this group is pulling ads without me. Okay, I get you guys want to rush through this, but still. final boss of the dungeon. Okay. Yeah, I was really struggling to remember this dungeon. Okay, good, they got it. Okay. It's been fun running a side character through Heaven's Ward. Nice. Are you in the free to play trial, or are you full subscription? All right, got that. Okay, well. Okay, so I'm a little rusty, that's for sure. I was definitely trying to remember all my rotations or all my different offshoots throughout that. Okay. Oh, never mind, I guess I couldn't get commentate a player. Sub, Dawn Trail may be meh, but so much else makes it worth it. Have you already? So I know you said just said you're on a side character, so on one of your alts you're playing through Heaven's Ward. So I take it you have a main character or your first character that you played through Dawn Trail, or are you just talking about Dawn Trail through Reputation? Because what of it I played, which I haven't finished it, and I have no idea how far in I got. Pretty early on, I'd assume. I was not super great. Or it was not super great, I should say. Okay. Yeah, I feel awkward. you ever have that thing where, like, you're supposed to be, like, an expert, or it's supposed to be, at the very least, know, like, the gist of things, but then you don't do it for, like, a very long time, then all of a sudden you're kind of thrown into the deep end? It's kind of how it feels. In my own head right now, I'm like, oof, God, maybe I should start with DPS instead. Good lord. I remember what my 1, 2, 3 does. Oh, I kept forgetting to use Blackest Night. I'm an idiot. Okay. I remembered my unmanned. Thankfully, I don't think I could use Delirium in that one. Delirium's very good, but I think it was grayed out for that. Ablation was also not available. Living Shadow, I think that was available, but I forgot to use it. Okay. You have a main on one of the UK servers, but haven't finished the Dawn Trail patches. My alts are all on US. You know, it's kind of interesting you have alts. You know, most people don't in FF14. There's really no need for an alt. And you can get all the classes on one character after all. So, do you play the alts just so you have like different servers you're regularly in, and you don't want to have to do the cross realm or cross server transfers, or did something change since last time I played, and now like there's a reason to make alts? wonder what she's barking at. Stretch my arm. Yeah, to kind of talk about my my walk with the last though. How to finish up. Yeah, the whole time we were doing the haunted walk, we were marching through. There was a bunch of fun scares, but it was all jump scares, like it is every year. They did add I can't remember if he was there last year. If he was there last year, we didn't interact with him. But they added a cool thing on the walk where there's this, like, out of bent shed. And this guy's got, like, a bunch of, like, severed, like, body parts and stuff. Obviously all props. And instead of scares, the guy's doing basically, like, a bunch of puns. And he's like, well, I gotta be careful not to put a foot in my mouth. And he'd hold up, like a silicone foot near his mouth. And it was kind of funny. He was doing basically a stand-up comedy routine. But it was funny because when I walked away and I heard him start the routine over, it was literally like beat for beat, so he was repeating himself over and over again. But like that was the only like thing that felt different this year. Yeah, once we got to like the barn, because the whole trail isn't very long, but it's like one big loop, and then you go to a barn. Before the barn is a little shed with a butcher dude. Then you go to the barn. The barn has like 3 sections of like little side activities you can do. One of them's the vampire's crypt, where basically you go in and the vampire, pretends to be asleep when you enter and jump scares you when you try and take candy from the bowl on his belly. Then another one that was also kind of not for scares. It was definitely more for humor. They did like a Doctor Who thing with a guy in there who had pretty convincing Irish accent if he wasn't straight up Irish. It was fun. It was fun. And then the last one we did was the witch's dinner. The witch's dinner was definitely meant to be scary for kids because of like the props and because of what the performance of the old ladies in there, which they did very good. I give them credit. But if you're an adult, it's almost more humorous. Because they're from the local area, so I knew 2 of them. So I'm like, I know who you are underneath the makeup, so that didn't help with like the lack of scare there. But also, I don't know what it is, at least for me. Witches aren't scary. Like, traditional witches, I should say, aren't scary after a certain age range. At least for me as a guy. So, like, just that alone, I was like, this is kind of funny. For me, I'm like, you're not even witches, you're just old biddies. I didn't say that, but that's like my mentality with this. Like, I'm unaffected. Yeah, but the little kids were in there, they were sitting at the dining table, and they had, like, the eyeballs and the tongue of a newt, and, they're doing the little scares. It was funny. But yeah, it was a fun trying to trail. For, like, the only jump scare that got me when we were out and about was in the strobe light room. Because at the beginning of the walk, there's, like, this little overhang, and I guess they had a bunch of extension cords out there in the woods. And they had a bunch of hanging strobe lights. And they had like 2 guys like hanging off to the side, and they would just kind of casually walk through the strobes as you were walking through them. So it, for me, it was more like the distortion effect got me. I was like, ugh. Outside of that, like all the other jump scares they did along the route, none of them got me. All of them, and I do mean all of them, got my girlfriend. Like she's hanging off my arm. Like the thing is, when we entered the walk, I wasn't even holding her hand. Because I wanted to get ahead of her and jump scare her myself. But unfortunately, she like latched onto my arm before I could get too far ahead. So I was like, ah, darn it. So, like, they were walking through, and every single jump scare, I could feel the, like, grip my arm tighter, and I'm like, I'm losing circulation. I'm losing circulation. Good Lord. Which he's turned into an average HOA representative. I mean, yeah, actually. it was completely like it was a good little scare for the kids on top of the walk. For an adult, it just doesn't land. Awesome was fun. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty nice. One thing that wasn't wholesome though is at the start of the walk, just like last year, they were serving alcohol. Like, that's the only thing they charge for, by the way. It's free to go into the walk. Like, they don't charge you anything to do the haunted walk. They just charge you money to, you know, get booze or to buy snacks. That's the only thing they charge for at the walk. It's kind of a nice little family-owned little activity they do every year. And, you know, it's on a private property as well. But I didn't buy any booze. My girlfriend didn't want to buy any, so we went in stone cold sober. Didn't seem to help her any. Yeah, most of the scares were just jump scares, though. Like, they were wearing semi-intimidating costumes that obscured the face and stuff, and they would jump out of the shadows. That, and they had a couple, like, little mics set up out there to, like, blast, like, scares as you'd go by. A sensor would detect you, you know? But, it was fun, it was good, it was a nice affair, but outside the strobe lights scare, that nothing got me. Like, that was it. It was funny, though, like when a guy jumped, like a clown costume dude jumped out of the bushes at us, I barely saw his shoe, so to be fair, if I hadn't seen it, maybe that one would have got me, but I saw his shoe as we were walking by, just barely, in the glint of the moonlight, and I was like, okay, there's a guy there. My girlfriend clearly didn't see it, because jumps out, and not only did she, that was the worst scare for her, A, because she hates clowns, but B, it was very, like, the guy did his job, he was very sudden and, like, big, like, whoa! Me, I saw him coming, so I didn't jump. I did laugh, though, because I laughed because I felt how bad that scared her, because she went from holding onto my arm with one of hers to both of them, and then she nearly yanked me down. Honestly, I was more scared of her yanking me to the dirt and on the ground than the dude who jumped out of the bush. His own shoes betrayed him. They really did. They were oversized clown shoes. If I were them, I would have wore all black if you're gonna like do those obscure scares. But I don't know. I was disappointed the ghillie suit guy from last year wasn't there. And again, he might have been just wearing something else, but the ghillie suit itself was not on display this year. It was disappointing. And there was actually one spot I could have sworn it was there because it was like this nice, perfect mound of leaves. So I was like, okay, that's the ghillie suit guy. We walk right by. Nope, just leaves. I'm not gonna lie, I was genuinely disappointed. I was like, aw. It's like I was hoping to see the ghillie suit guy this year. No, we had fun though. Yeah, the whole walk only took us about, I want to say the actual walk itself was 10 to 15 minutes. Then there was the side activities with like the Doctor Who thing, the stand-up comedian with like the butcher stuff. Then the witch's dinner. Yeah, I think collectively, it all took about half hour. A little over that. Almost 40 minutes. But it was fun. My ear. Love the idea of having a picture-perfect pile of leaves to psych people. I don't know if that was the intent. It might have just been when they happened to pile up, or they might have piled it up on purpose, but not for the sake of like disappointing or like a what's the term? Subversion of expectations. It could have been that. It could have been that they knew that people would remember the ghillie suit from the prior year, and they just set up what might be a scare, and they put out like a dummy hill. But I can't say that for certain. It might have just been coincidence that they had like a pile of leaves right there. But I would say if they did have the ghillie suit guy out there again, that was the perfect spot. Alright, for the next part, I think I'll switch to Reaper. Yeah, we'll do the rest of the roulette with Reaper. That way I don't have the stress of tanking. Oh, dungeon trials. Funny side effect. It was a funny side effect. Actually, before we do our next roulette, I do want to check something. What are your favorite DPS jobs? My favorite DPS job is Reaper. Before Reaper, my favorite DPS was... Dark Knight was my main, but my favorite before Reaper... Obviously, Dark Knight was tank, though. I'm not sure. I've been playing, I don't know, I played, let's see. We'll just have to go by level. I think it was Samurai. Yeah. I guess I mostly main Sam for DPS, melee DPS for sure. I've really, like, not touched range DPS. I have magical DPS or Black Mage, but Black Mage was actually my first job. That was like my starting job in the game. I then very quick early on, I think it was after Rome Reborn, I switched classes. The sad thing is I couldn't tell you if I could get back in this saddle with Black Mage again. I don't know if I could handle being that like immobile. Because now that I've played so many other classes that run around and move around so much, especially tanks when you're trying to like change like the directionals. I don't know if I could do it. Actually, let me repair my gear while I'm here. Raft Castle. Yeah, but Sam, probably my favorite DPS. Definitely the one I did the most. Then Reaper. When Reaper dropped, that became my main DPS. And I got a lot. I can't lie. It's still, I do love Reaper the most. It's so fun. Granted, I'll admit, you know, like, I should, like, work on the other classes a lot. Like, I haven't even touched Scholar, haven't even touched Arcanist, Red Mage, Pictomancer, Dancer. Like, there's a bunch of classes I haven't even touched. Rogue, I haven't touched Rogue at all for DPS. There's a bunch of classes, I'll admit. Like, if there's content to be, like, to farm for FF14 for me, it's just going over all the classes I refuse to touch. Or finish, for that matter. Oh, that's right, I can't jump that. So I definitely need to level some classes over some time. Yeah, right now, today's stream is mostly focused on me like getting back into the swing of things, like remembering my rotations for at least my primary classes. Hello, sir. Repair my gear, please. Actually, let me switch back to Dark Knight just so you can repair that shit too. Sir, I'm gonna need you to repair. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Much obliged. Being a floor tank, doing the magic jobs has been interesting. Oh, what's your tank? Doing the magic jobs. Like Black Mage, or is there like, are you doing Arcanist? Which of the magic DPS are you doing? Or like, are you mains, I suppose? I do actually really want to level Paladin. Unfortunately, I think that's one of my lower levels. Yeah, still working on. I do remember the. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I have a pretty little neat aesthetic for him there. I think that's PvP gear I put on him for like aesthetics. But still fairly low level there. I'm trying Paladin, but I'm a filthy Dragoon main. That's not filthy. Dragoons are great. And the best part about FF14 is the PvP scene. While it's there and it is fun, at least I enjoy the newer PvP content, or I did, I could say. Again, I haven't played in a hot minute, but the newer PvP stuff is fun. But okay, anyway, the beauty. Thank you, no problem. The beauty of FF14 is there's not a lot of PvP focus in the game, so because of that, we can kind of just appreciate everybody's class together. It's a thing where it's so PvE focused of a game that there's not a lot of, like in World of Warcraft, right? There's a huge PvP scene for World of Warcraft. When people argue within WoW about between classes, it's usually with the tone of like seriousness. Like within WoW, when you like, there's an argument between like which class is better, which class is optimal, which class is min-max. A huge part of that is the PvP content. It's like, okay, how, what's the best class to beat other, like, my class is better than yours, and some of that is in the PvE content, yes, as well. Because it's like, okay, well, this is the optimal healer, this is like the shitty healer, like, oh, you didn't build your character properly for the healing spec for this class. So there's a lot of min-maxing and elitism within WoW because of, again, the PvP is a huge reason for it, and another reason is also because there is wrong ways to run certain classes for like the core content. With FF14, that's not really there. First of all, the PvP scene is tiny. People mostly only do it for the roulette. That, or they sometimes like roll out fun rewards and fun cosmetics rewards for doing the PvP content. But outside of that, there's not a huge like scene for it and love for it in FF14 like there is for the rest of the game. And because even within the game lore, unlike WoW, because in WoW you got Horde versus Alliance, that also inspires like tensions and competition between players, which causes, friction, which I do think there is a place for that, and I think WoW is good for that. That's fun in that community. Sometimes it's a little toxic. But in FF14, even within the lore of the game, all the three alliances are friends, pretty much. They're alliances allied with each other. There's, like, no tension between the Twin Adder, the... crap, it's been so long since I forgot what everybody's called. Maelstrom and... Fuck, what was the alliance for... Ul'dah? On Thanalan. Fuck, I don't remember. It's been too long. Well, point is, like, the three alliances within the lore and the setting of FF14 are pretty much just friends. All the competition is friendly. The PvP content in lore isn't like war fronts trying to gain territory over each other. It's literally basically just tactic. It's like joint military practices, right? That's kind of the whole idea. And the nice thing is that this community is pretty patient with people learning their new jobs. And Mortal Flame, yeah, Mortal Flames, thank you. Yeah, and the community is pretty good. Again, I think the tone, aesthetic, and also the lore really, as well as the game design, like those all kind of contribute to the community and to a given community formulating how they tonally treat each other. And WoW, because there's the Horde versus the Alliance in lore, as well as in-game mechanics, there's a huge PvP scene. And additionally, game design-wise, there are unoptimal ways to play certain classes with certain specs. It all leads to a more, and I know this term's misused and also overused a lot, cringily, but it does fit here. It leads to a toxic environment, like where a lot of people are basically trying to, what's the term? Critique is the word, but there's another term I was thinking of. But, kind of like, tell other people how to play. In FF14, it's not really there. Like, you can have a less than optimal build or like, gear and stuff for your class or your spec that you're running for a given mission. But you can still make it. Like, everything, they also make sure to, like, level people down, make sure everybody has, like, if there's, like, a super powerful player, they're still not completely, like, stealing the show in lower-end dungeons. Like, they really go out of their way to make it so it's not punishing or tense for the community within FF14 to the point where they do end up, like, filtering each other about, like, okay, do you have the correct, quote-unquote, way to play that character or that spec? Plus, again, smaller PvP scene, and within the lore itself of the game, the alliances are supposed to be friends that are mainly three joint militaries, more or less. So I think all that kind of works together to kind of establish how the players themselves express their interactions in game, more or less. All right, so I'm gonna run DPS for let's do a trial. Okay, so we already did the leveling one. No, since we're playing an MMO though, let's. I kind of want to talk to y'all about actually, rather than let me cancel this real quick. Yeah, I was gonna run my Reaper, but I think I'll stick because Dark Knight is what I'm running mainly for the actual MSQ for Dawn Trail. So I guess I should hyper focus on leveling him properly. Okay. Run trials. That might insta. Nope, might take a second. Yeah, but I heard about New World. Eternum is now going under. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more after the trial, but you know, before the trial here, while we wait for the queue to pop. That was kind of a shock out of nowhere. Granted, I didn't play. Oh, there it goes. I didn't play a ton of New World. I did kind of find it somewhat charming, but it had a lot of flaws. It definitely wasn't like the MMO for me. I could definitely see myself or I saw myself being able to jump in and out of it maybe once in a while. Oh no, not this one. Alright, the other Dark Knight is got his grid on, so I'm the off tank. Wait, who's the other? Oh, it's the Scapaway up front. Oh boy. Let me turn my grid on while I take this hail. Yeah, come after me, little shits. Come on. I think I turned my grid off. Oh, fuck. What happened? Well, that's just it. We kind of don't know what happened. There's some speculations. But from what it seems like, New World just kind of dropped. They're still running the game, but they've announced that they fired, like, everybody at AMG, Amazon Games, sorry, AGS, Amazon Game Studios. They fired fucking everybody. Alright, turn the grip back on. Oh crap, I activated two of those. Music kicked off. Come on, you freaking... Always with the music. Oh yeah, the music is fucking baller. I have a playlist on my Spotify just of Final Fantasy XIV music. There's one particular dungeon theme that I sometimes listen to on repeat. It's amazing. Ah, there we go. I'll press the other tank. The other, or I gotta give it. I want to give it to somebody. Alright, that was fast. Yeah, but I guess, you know, I'll do this real quick. So yeah, New World's down, pretty much. So before I guess I'll do this in like I'll record this kind of like a video. Why not? I don't know if I'll upload this as a video though. So, you know, stream clip. But there has been news around it. Several people have like brought it up better than I can put it, I think. But I guess I'll start with showing off the Steam DB of New World. Because it is bad. It is very, very bad. Steam charts, New World. There it is. All right, I'll show this to you guys real quick because it is it's striking. Oh, that's too cropped there. So yeah, this is okay. So recently, there it is, right there. Let's see here. Let's go 48 hours. No, we'll do the 7 day. So the 7 days in. All right, so New World recently took a huge nosedive. The reason for that is it was announced by AGS, Amazon Game Studios, that they were discontinuing new content for the game. They recently released, if I'm not incorrect, an expansion for the game. Now, full disclosure, like I said before, I am not a New World player. I didn't like New World when it came out. It had a lot of bugs and problems that certainly pushed people like me away. Even with that being said, when I revisited the game way later, and you know, Jenny in the Discord can certainly speak to this because she was there to like play it with me for a little bit. I really did like it when I revisited it, but it still wasn't an MMO for me. Like I recognize that pretty. Yeah, Jenny's right in the chat. Like I recognize pretty much immediately this was not my. This was not my MMO, right? I like tab targeting MMORPGs more traditionally akin to something like World of Warcraft. I mean, that's the one I played for the longest time. That's why FF14 works so good for me. It's very, very akin to that, so that's why I like it so much. But yeah, with New World, I tried it. I did like it. It had a charm to it, certainly, and I knew it would have its own fan base. I never could have guessed it would die this early, though. Like, the MMO's only been out, like, what, 4 or 5 years? I think. It hasn't been around too long. And I know they also did, like, a re-release, kind of like what FF14 did with A Realm Reborn. Although, I don't know if it was as big scale as that. But they had New World, and they had New World Eternum. So, I know they revamped the game, and I know I dropped off it. But I figured that after Eternum, and then I heard a bunch of expansions came out for it. They've been doing seasonal content for it. I figured, you know, being separated from that world, no world, that it was just doing fine. I could never have guessed it was doing as poorly as it was, I guess, on the back end. I know that they recently not re-released, but released a new expansion. I was hearing that was actually kind of popular. And then right there, actually, around a few days ago, I say that, it's like about a week ago now, around October 28th or 29th, They announced, yeah, Amazon said, yeah, we're done. And they fired like a ton of people all at once. Like within one day, a shit ton of people got fired from Amazon Game Studios, and they just cut the cord. And they announced New World. It's going to no new content is being produced for New World, and it's pretty. They haven't said that they're going to shut it down completely. I will say that, but I'd say you'd have to be kidding yourself to think that they're doing anything short of that. They're shutting down New World. The upside is they have sworn, and that it's legally binding. I'm pretty sure that they're going to give a 6-month warning prior to shutting down New World completely. But as of right now, New World is basically it's just the servers are just being maintained at the moment. That's all they're doing. No new, by the sounds of it, no new seasonal content is coming. No new expansion content is coming. What is currently in New World Eternum is what is in New World Eternum. That is pretty much it. Skeleton Crew seems to be running the game at the moment, and in response to the announcement that the MMO is effectively doomed, it went from having, a high of like 35 players. Sorry, 35k players, I should say. That sounds really bad. It's not Concord we're talking about here. It was averaging like on the low end like 20,000 players, and on the high end like 35,000 to 40,000 players, which for an active MMO, I don't think that those are horrible numbers. Obviously, for a big MMORPG, you want way bigger daily login numbers than that. But for New World, I don't think those were terrible numbers. I've certainly seen way worse off games that still call themselves MMORPGs. But yeah, New World had a decent player base still actively playing. But after the announcement from Amazon Game Studios and the massive sweeping firings and layoffs, we'll use the nicer term. The game literally dropped to 0 people at one point. Like it was like around this time right here that the announcement was made, and the game plummeted in players. People were just absolutely crazy. I know. Like, oh, you announced that you're shutting down or basically discontinuing support for additional content for this MMO that a lot of people have dedicated probably thousands of hours to, leveling their class, doing all the new content, enjoying the new story stuff. And after it plummeted, it's now gone from averaging 35k on the high end to now on the high end, we're looking at about 12,000 players at most. And that was actually a few days ago. Let's use more recent numbers. Oh god. Okay, that's today, to be fair. Like the I'm not sure if the analytics are perfect on today's numbers right there. So let's use November 2nd to 3rd as the high end. So on the low end, they're hitting only 4k players, which for an MMO, that's devastating. That is absolutely devastating. For an MMO, that's pathetic. Actually, for single player games, there are plenty of single player games that get more like on Steam that get more active players than that in a given day. Like it might be unfair to compare it, but let's compare with Megabonk real quick. Megabonk. And granted, I know they're completely different genres, but it is a single player game. Megabonk is single player. And it's also an indie game, where this is... So if anything, by all accounts, on the meta front, Megabonk, a single player, kind of arcadey roguelite, Vampire Survivor clone, that's made by an indie dev, and it's not an MMO, should have infinitely less players. But if I look it up, the Megabonk Steam charts... It's no comparison. Here's Megabonk. Oh, Megabonk also does. Oh, that might have been like a... Okay, to be fair, that might have not been in the announcement date for Eternum. But still, the fact they haven't recovered at all. Yeah, after the announcement. But point is, Megabonk, on the low end, again, using a similar time frame, November. Low end November numbers, 22,000 people are playing right now. And on the high end, 51 to 50,000 players are actively playing it. At least compare it to Vampire Survivor or something. Give them... Okay, well, Vampire Survivor. All right, well, let's do Vampire Survivor then. Vampire Survivor. Low end, 9,000 players on the low end. High end, 15,000. New World. Oh, that's New World. 3,000. Sorry. Around 4K. High end, 8K. Not even cutting. Not so a MMORPG, which the whole like low numbers for MMORPGs should be in the tens of thousands. And that's on an off day. It's on a bad day. And they're averaging 4K right now, and they're not even cutting above 10K on their high end. Vampire Survivors, which, to be fair, yeah, it is a better example than Megabonk, because Megabonk is still new, right? But comparatively, Vampire Survivors. Single player, I think it costs like $9 on Steam. There's no multiplayer content at all outside the leaderboards. It's years old now. Low end, basically almost 10K, but 9K, 9.9K. High end, 15K. A single player, cheap indie game that is years old currently is doing way better than a MMO RPG. And that's pretty bad. Now, to be fair, these numbers are after they announce that they're discontinuing the game. Well, effectively they are. Yes, technically the servers are still live. If I wanted to right now, I could install New World and jump into the world, but there's no new content coming. What they've released is it. That's pretty fucking bad. That is terrible. And they pretty much nuked the game with that announcement. But to be fair, like it'd be bad if they didn't announce it and they just fired people discreetly. So with these numbers now as low as they are, it's only a matter of time before AGS does announce that they're not even going to keep New World going on a, I don't think they're going to even keep it going on a skeleton crew. I think they're going to discontinue it entirely. Because when an MMO drops this low, and keep in mind, this MMO doesn't have a monthly subscription as far as I'm aware. Like, New World has no monthly subscription. It has no battle pass system. Well, it might on that one, but as far as I know, it doesn't have those two systems. It's a buy to play, I'm pretty sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or in the comments or whatever. But as far as I'm aware, there's no constant revenue service just by the player count. Okay. Apologies, my dog just lost her shit. Also, welcome Zerat23 to the stream. How you doing? Let's check it out with Cat. Would lurk longer, but gotta work. Alright, see you later, Pink. There, put a fire under Asmo. What? What put a fire under me? I think it might be the mailman, because it is 10:50. Like, this is about the time the mailman would come by, so. She doesn't usually lose her shit at the mailman like that, though. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep going. Assuming if I don't hear any banging or anything, I think we're fine. But yeah, New World is doing really, really bad. And it did kind of come out of nowhere. Yeah, real quick, to kind of illustrate my point. Like, to someone who would know more than me, obviously, being in New World's community. New World, I'll just type New World in YouTube, and we'll look for a vid going over it. Here we go. Baggins TV.
What's going on, friend?
Alright, so this guy, I'm pretty sure, has been active in New World for a long time. Pretty long time. So I'm just gonna load the line, and I guess this is gonna turn to reaction, but, yeah, he's gone over it. Let's see if he's got any insight that I don't have, because I actually am genuinely curious. I'm outside looking in. Like I said, I was not and am not an active New World player. I am an MMO guy. I love MMORPGs. It's my favorite genre of gaming, or was. Kind of hasn't been for a few years, but that's just because the companies have ruined it. Uh, but that being said, I did play it a little bit. I liked it a little. I liked it, but it wasn't the kind of MMO for me, so I wasn't going to be a constant player. That's the eyes I and perspective I offer on New World. But let's check out somebody who's been active in the game.
Friends, welcome back to another New World video, and what is sadly very likely going to be the last New World video on this channel. The reason behind this, the game is no longer going to be receiving updates. This news shocked me. I did foresee this happening at some point in New World's future, but just 2 weeks after the Nighthaven expansion.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize it was that soon after an expansion. Wait, okay, that's way worse than what I heard. Oh, hold on. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm the patrol officer. You missing 2 horses?
Horses?
Yeah. I got a white one and a brown one.
I didn't realize we were missing them, no. I gotta go. Bad timing. I have gotta go. Oh. Yeah. Bad timing. Horses got out. The gate slammed open. I'm not sure how. Nothing's broke, but our gate's open. So, yeah.